All right, cool. So the recording is on. Yet another time, officially welcome to the third community call of Kelp and Anagolay. And today we have some pretty huge announcement coming up, probably the biggest one so far. Just a couple hours ago, we finally published its live project called Dotsama.info, which is Polkadot and Kusama discoverability directory. Well, basically the point of Dotsama.info is to become a one and all place for the community, for the project, for the builders, for the newcomers, but probably not for the newcomers, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, to have all the trustworthy information about the ecosystem and everything built within it in one place. So that's a whole idea. So far, we have a proof of concept built by Daniel in a couple of weeks, while being somewhat bored with other things. So yeah, Daniel, why don't you just show us?
Right. So before I start.
Oh, hey, hang on. I actually have a super nice image prepared by our awesome Carla. Ta-da! Unwrapping the Dotsama.info. And with that, I can actually stop sharing my screen and give it off to
Yeah,
you.
but please don't do that. I have no idea what's going on with your left side, right side thingy. She has a tiny screen for some reason, and a 13-inch, and it for some reason Tailwind doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, my laptop got lots of issues, but anyway, that's why you are the one sharing the screen.
Hopefully change it soon. So I'll share my screen, and Carla will edit if needed. So before we start, I want to say that this is built by me and in a collaboration with the whole idea with the Mayhem nodes. And we have Mr. King Charming here, Henrik, from the Mayhem nodes. And because it's a shameless self-promotion from both of our sides, basically for the time being. So we have partners here. These are the people who brought you the Dotsama. So effectively what this is a kind of a set entry point to the ecosystem, where you can see all the things at a glance. What do we have at the moment? So for example, completely 38 projects that we have that are on this list, on this long table list. And they are kind of segmented in parachains, relay chains, solo chains, layer 0 projects or palettes. What makes Dotsama very special is that it is a centralized place for the information with the intention that information flows from the Dotsama somewhere else. What I mean by that is that, for example, if we take Anagolay network, we will get something like this. This is the page that people will see. We have the contacts. We have the 6 palettes that this project said that they have created, and a description. So what I mean that data flows is that data is not constrained within this context of the Dotsama.info. So let's say that Henrik wants to use, or Mr. King Charming, use part of the data from this Anagolay page. Let's say Anagolay chain adds a new version, like we will see in Indiana, because that's the chain that comes first. He can actually listen to the events and wait for the correct event, and then use the JSON data source that is built into this static website, and just take the information what he needs. So what I'm talking about is you can click on it on the UI. It will be something like this. which is basically somewhat like this is just the data. All the previous things that you have seen here is the HTML, CSS beautifying. This is for the people. This is for the end users who are more interested in actually learning about it. And this is mostly for developers and machines and data aggregation systems and a bunch of other stuff that people can use. So this is this what makes us incredibly different than any other project or directory out there, is that every record, every item is a data source. There is basically one rule to follow in a pattern how to get the data source without knowing much anything about. So basically just remove last / and type JSON. That's it. And this works for any page. If we would go to about, and that doesn't work. Bug. Excellent. So this is a proof of concept. This is just 2.5 weeks of 3.5 weeks of work, but this should have worked, and I have no idea why it doesn't work. Let's check how to. That doesn't work either. Well, okay, I'll need to fix that up. So the reason why that doesn't work is because they are not internally considered as a data source. The real data sources are palettes and projects. The about and how to and get in touch are our internal pages, and they are kind of made to be a data source. So then the only thing what they are serving is just the data about us here. Palettes. This is a novelty. As far as I know, there is no data. There is no palette discovery in the ecosystem. Although every chain and parachain is built using palettes. So this is our approach to kind of make the palette discovery as easy as possible, where people in the future will be able to filter, search, and then use it. So this is again data source. They are clear here. This will work because it is a data source. So you can see here, so you can take data source from any palette and aggregate it, and do some really cool stuff with it. Additionally, there are two things that I want to mention. Is that we have imported the data from the Polkadot network directory, and they don't have the logos. So for the time being, we are using these logos until the projects update their configurations and add their logos. I hope Arjuna is not going to be insulted by the avatar looking like dude. So next step, Ideanale it has additional things that Anagolay did not have. It has versions. Versions are very important for the people who are running collators, who are running validators. So for them, this website is very useful because they can say like, okay, we are running 0.3, and there is a new one that's 0.4, and which is aka latest. So they will be able to fetch the binaries, the chain specs, and for the parachain runners, they can also publish their genesis date and verification code if they choose to. Additionally, we are allowing via the configuration file to have the pre-runtime WASMs, which are generated besides the binary, and these are for the on-chain forkless updates of the runtime. So this basically is done via the Polkadot.js. You can just go there, do the runtime upgrade, and you have this. We will wait with what the community says. Maybe this will be removed. Maybe it will stay. The point is to have only necessary information, nothing that is like useless and unnecessary. So in that case, every network, as you can see here, ETherNet runs only currently in one network mode. It's a solo chain that runs separately on a version 0.3.0. So let's say that Mayhem nodes will be a validator of that testnet. They will have to run the 0.3.0, and the easiest way how to get that is to basically get this this binary. A cool thing about this is that they don't have to compile it by themselves, because we are running the same binary and it's stored on IPFS, so which gives us 100% assurance that we are running the same byte by byte binary. Another thing is that since I'm using Brave, IPFS protocol is natively enabled for non-Brave browsers. You can see that it says dweb link. It transforms it into HTTPS protocol and sets it to the dweb.link IPFS gateway, which in the future we will make it like the UI way, so people can change the gateways in case one gateway goes down or is super slow or something. So the thing is, like, for example, for Mr. King Charming, this website, this page is useless. For him, this is important. He needs to know this. This is what he needs to know. This is pure data. So he will go to versions, get this one, and get to the IPFS and get the binary, and he will need to get the chain spec. Am I correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
If we have the chain spec and binary, we can pretty much spin up any project.
Yeah, and it's really so. Since you are from the side of the validators, and I assume it's quite troublesome and hard and time consuming to actually get where the chain specs JSON file is located.
Yeah, especially because projects can put it in different folders and move it around or not upload it at all. So yeah, the chain spec file is definitely a huge improvement to just have that.
Yep. No, perfect. Yep. Thank you. I totally agree. That's why it's here. So the so people like King Charming can run any chain validator or a collator and only trust the Dotsama because two things. We are introducing this thing called a did we coin the term already?
Which term?
The self thingy.
Self-incentivization.
Yeah. So the idea is to have people voluntarily change update the data, either for their project or other projects, while keeping the quality of the data and trustworthiness on the highest level.
I see. Like from my point, not the technical. This is actually extremely important, and that's what sets is different from the existing directories. Because
but feel free to explain it then.
Yeah. All right. So in most of the cases, like only the project itself can edit the information, but it really depends on the project. Like for some, when the project grows huge and there is like the separate ecosystem, like on top of the project, like if we talk about Akala, Moonbeam, or whoever not, then for them it can be quite time-consuming and troublesome to edit all the data. When instead, in this case, they can actually rely on the community and encourage and incentivize the community to do it for them, and just verify the final input, basically, which saves plenty of time from one side, and also helps to engage the community members and have another way of interaction with the project. And this is actually well, yeah, for me that's the huge game changer. And if we're talking about incentives, then with this approach, they're threefold. So yeah, why we talk about self-incentivization? So the idea is like, well, basically, the initial motivator should be that people just want to actually be part of it and contribute to something, not just going like being paid in advance. But then if you actually bring value based on the value of your contribution, you can be rewarded. And in case of Dotsama.info, enabled by what we built in Anagolay, you can be rewarded threefold. So first, you can be directly tipped by the community members or by the representative of the project, probably for a small amount. For a bigger amount, anybody, or particularly the members of the project, or essentially anyone else in the community, can suggest a tip from a respective treasury from a particular project. So in the beginning, we think like now with Anagolay, we work to implement tips from Polkadot and Kusama Treasury, but the idea that can be done for the treasury of any project in the ecosystem. So we really decentralize the incentives in this way. And you can tip independently. So if like, so now what we see, like in order to receive support, you really need to go for the treasury. And in case of Polkadot, for example, currently, which haven't, they didn't switch to the OpenGov yet, so it's like a huge bottleneck. So in this case, if you see that someone brings value and does cool stuff for the particular cause of a particular project, you can just support them directly, or you can request a tip for a different treasury. So you have options. That's the main point. And if you talk about Dotsama.info, in this case, let's say if you, if a user like Alice added some data about Akala network, they can get tip from Akala community by Akala team members, request or suggest a tip from Akala Treasury, and well, on top of it, we as Anagolay team will be also tipping active contributors, so they can receive also tip from Anagolay Treasury as an addition to what they already got. So that's an idea. Did I transmit the concept? What do you think, guys?
Fine. Yeah, I understand it completely, but for
the
other people,
good thing you do, because we would have a big issue if you didn't.
True. I know that Henrik understands this, yeah. But
Yeah.
Leo, Carla, any questions? This is AMA.
For me now, it's much clearer. I didn't know the behind the project. What was it about, really?
Okay, this is AMA. Ask me anything. So ask me anything.
You know what? Actually, before the call, under kind of very short notice, I just shared the link and the link for the call and for the Dotsama.info on the Polkadot direction and Kusama direction. So we got one comment regarding the name, basically, and it's your, I believe. Sorry, I'm not sure how to actually read the name. From Parity, I believe. So, and since he's coming from the marketing perspective, and he says that for him, like Dotsama in a name is a branding killer. Because in Polkadot, they try to, well, kind of avoid abbreviations and those kind of things like Dotsama, etc. So that's just a thought.
Well, let's see. I mean,
itself.
they, as far as I know, they did not do a patent on a word, a dot or sama or Dotsama. And if I would be marketing and then trademark aware, and be in their
No,
shoes.
it's not about the trademark. It's actually that, Polkadot prefers to go with the full name of Polkadot something. But
So
yeah, it's kind of a side comment.
Yeah,
that
but-
that's something to think about later.
yeah, but that's it's for the time being is Dotsama. It's about the whole ecosystem. Unless I guess as long as it stays and everybody's using Dotsama as the ecosystem where the substrate
Yeah, but
framework
so-
is main.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's important that it's Dotsama.info, because Dotsama is usually referral to like
Yeah.
both the Polkadot and Kusama, the entire thing. So
Yeah.
when we're talking about it, I think it's important that we bring up it's Dotsama.info,
Yes,
not just Dotsama.
yes, it's Dotsama.info, and that's exactly what we have written here. Is a title. This is how we refer it in every text. Here, if you just check, for example, look at this. It's always Dotsama.info. It's not Dotsama, right? So Dotsama is something that people have made up, but yeah, I mean you have Dotsama.tv and you don't call it Dotsama, you call it Dotsama.tv. so yeah, and I mean as for the
Yeah, but I think
branding, we'll
Dotsama
see.
term is like quite more popular and common in the community, but probably not so much in the parity, official parity team itself. So,
I think we are building this for the community, not for parity.
all right.
So, but yeah, any questions on this, Carla, Leo? It's not possible that you don't have questions.
I probably do, but I don't know how to ask.
Okay. Okay. No. Yes. Leo, any question technology-wise, how things are like, just anything?
My question. I don't think my questions are relevant. So my first question is how this will be updated.
What do you mean? The data?
Yes.
It's on how to. There's a whole page. Come on. Yeah, there's a whole page on how it is added. So we can click on add the project. It's explained here how to add the project, and basically the common submission workflow. So basically, what do you need to do? This is how do we merge a PR. So what are the well, we call it scenarios because there are basically two ways of doing it. People from the project and everybody else, basically. So in this case, we have covered both of the scenarios, and the team the team members will go through a certain decision-making process and make it and either merge it or request for the changes. Yes, open queue. Yes, Carla.
I have a question. I don't know if it's kind of obvious for you,
Okay.
but for me, as I don't know the technical side, I don't know. When Elena talked about the community and the treasury and those kind of things, you also talk about that the community can like do the whole thing and then the project can validate. How does that validation work, or how do they validate?
Right.
Or how the user can like show what they did?
Yeah. So basically, this is this explained here.
So that's exactly in the if you if you don't mind, Daniel. I know this one, so I want to jump in on this one.
Okay, excellent. But feel free to jump in. Like, I'll ask a question and probably King Charming will jump in, but you do jump in.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly the difference between the two scenarios, which Daniel just referred to. So in case if we can see who actually opens a PR. So if it's done from a repository of the project, then we can trust the We can trust the information submitted. We can trust that the official team of the project is aware of the submission, and we can merge it right away. But in case if it's done by a community volunteer, then basically it's on them to tag the team representative, and then we as Dotsama will wait for the official public approval via comment on GitHub that they are fine with the information provided, that it's accurate, and if everything is fine, we proceed with merging it, and well, the submitter will be eligible for reward.
Yeah, to show you in two things. Well, first, when I team at the moment is a combination of Anagolay team and Mayhem nodes. So that's basically the team where the responsibility resides. Okay. So and the visual thing. So let's assume. Well, no need to assume, but for example, I have opened a PR, which stands for pull request, and I want to implement these files, all of these bunch of stuff. Of course, this is a lot of things because I've done the first version, right? But this should be like maybe 3 files or something like that, no more than that. Three is the maximum. So because you have a config file and logo and header in case you want to have the local assets. If you don't want to have the local assets, then you will have to change 1 file only. So I would say if I would make this update for some other project, I would say yeah, this is done here, and then add basically somebody else, and then they will have to make this kind of like this. Elena left a comment noise, but in their case would not be well we don't force what is the message.
It is a form of public recognition, isn't it?
Yes, as long yes and yes. We don't force the what is the message, as long as they somebody from the team acknowledges the changes, right? So in this case, you have a link between approval and the PR that's there, and then basically if Henrik is doing this like merging pull request merging, because it will be assigned to it's some of us. So we have this is basically the team. Yeah, Leo, you are part of the team as well. So yeah, we have this is the team so far, and which can merge, and then once that merges, it's automatic deployment. Well, semi-automatic. So we have Leo will know definitely what this means. Just to kind of say it for Henrik, this is basically uploading to the IPFS the build, so we can have it directly available from here. So basically, you will see this output in this job, and you will just click it and it will work. That's it. And if you would now go here, and then if you would put that one, I think it's in like a dweb.link, or is it IPFS? And now let's wait a bit. So what happens now dweb link is asking the whole planetary-wide IPFS network, who knows about this CID? And eventually the CID will be found, because Anagolay network node, IPFS node is part of the global network. It just takes time because we don't propagate. We don't tell them, hey, listen, this is the CIDs that we have. Sometimes there you go. It works. So what you just witnessed is a true distributed and decentralized website hosting with the completely censorship-free. And basically nobody can take this down as long as one person, unknown person in the whole world, can host this CID. And to make sure that we are not messing up stuff, okay, this is the proper stuff. So for the editing, people will edit one of the files in the data directory. Let's just go the first one. So basically, this file is going to be edited, like different kinds of contacts, new links, or like changing the RPCs and stuff like that. Did that answer your question, Carla, or we went too far? Right. So next, what do we have next? Oh, by the way, did you guys notice something here? Look at this. I thought it could be really cool to have that you already automatically know how many projects do we have on Dotsama. So every time when we make a PR, every time when it builds, it's going to change the thing. Equally, it's going to be for pallets. So yeah.
Oh yeah, have you mentioned that like currently all the data that we have was most of the data that we have was imported from Polkadot network directly?
I think in the beginning, but I think in the beginning I've mentioned that. The thing is, the difference is that, for example, this is how this looks like. This is because this is edited data. This is fully edited data. This is how.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There is a huge difference between how the page for Anagolay Anagolay looks like, which we manually
and then we have
edit,
something like for Akala. So yeah, like for example, here binary is not provided, but the chain spec is. So basically, I don't know, Henrik, how would this be? Would this be one of the projects that you need to edit, or how would you react when you would see this? Because it is majority of the projects on Dotsama.info right now.
Yeah, first we will contact the project about see if they actually has it. If they don't have the binary on hand, we could even like build a binary and then probably upload it,
right,
and then have it available for everyone. Because that's what node runners do. What we do a lot of the time. If the project doesn't provide the binary, then we'll build it ourselves. So then just one needs to build it and then can upload it, and then everyone else can use it.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of unnecessary hours of building time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because as I know that Ideanale takes at least 35 minutes with caching.
It takes anywhere between, I would say, 15 minutes to an hour.
15.
Yeah.
For a release binary.
Yeah, some binaries are down to like 15 minutes. It's like super fast. Other binaries is like an hour.
Right. I definitely want to know who builds in 15 minutes.
I can try figuring out, but I'm pretty sure we have been down to that, like around 15 minutes.
Right. That's interesting because we have a good build server and it takes a long time. But then again, I did not spend too much time on improving the build processes. But yeah, so for example, they need binary, and if the project would provide the binary, they would just go, for example, here and get the binary if there would be in a version, or even in a best case, or even worst case scenario, if certain people don't like to have this parse JSON, they can just basically click the link here. I mean, it doesn't work because it's not a link, but if it's a link, it would work like so. So let's say binary, click. So what this does, there you go.
The worst is actually not building the binary. The worst is when the binary is in a Docker image that doesn't work, so you need to pull it out of the Docker image.
Shit.
You need to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it in the Docker image that doesn't
my God.
really work, and then pull it out. And yeah,
All right.
that's been a headache with some
Yeah,
projects.
yeah.
That's the ones that's like extreme time consumers.
Fuck. Yeah, and then even I guess it's even worse if if it's not built for muzzle, that it's not statically linked binary. So you you export the binary, then you start running and you run the binary, and then you're like, shit, I need I don't know, OpenSSL version 2.1 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. So you see, so this exactly. So this is like, because if I'm not sure how projects are building, because there is no real like a rule of thumb how projects should build, because there are some there are some tools. I think it's SR tool is one of them, who are trying to kind of unify this kind of how to build the stuff. And but then again, every validator is free to take the code and build the binary by themselves. So if they are so paranoid, or for some reason they cannot find the binary that other are providing, right? But in this case,
I think
yeah.
most of the time it's because it's not available. Like they don't provide the binary directly. That's why we're building it most of the time.
Are you telling me that that they don't have the releases?
Like it's different from project to project.
Yeah,
they will have the
okay, so,
releases,
yeah.
but they will not have the binary in the releases necessarily.
Right.
Especially newer projects.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So these guys share full-blown SR tool, JSON, but where the artifacts? Okay. So Karura runtime wasm is using IPFS. Excellent. So basically, this is excellent. This is really cool. But the thing is that they are using the file, the mutable file system. Brilliant. So this is now a good thing. So we could, they can put this in an IPFS protocol, and people can use it with not needing to build it ever again. Yeah, you're right. Look, there are no assets here.
Yeah, just the source code. We download that. We build the binary from that. And
Right.
then even if they just provide it like this, then this way one collator could just go in, like build it, make it available for everyone. Just the team has to say, yes, this is correct.
Yeah. Okay. So who wants to see some cool shit?
Sure, should.
Or who wants to?
And I think also kind of we are running out of time a little bit, at least from the point of recording. So let's wrap it up with some cool shit from you, and then at least we can start. We can stop the recording and continue with the chit chat.
Okay, dokie. So we have a so let's edit the code. So for example, let's just kind of see. So we know that Akala has this wasm, right? So we know that. So let's just open it in a Git pod. The easiest is to open it in a Git pod. We will not make the pull request. We will not make anything. So just to kind of show you that it's that you can how you can actually use this, right? So I use Gitpod a lot because it just makes sense. So you can just code on a go, and so let's just wait until it pulls a container image with all the bunch of stuff. If you who are interested in what the hell this is, that the configuration is located here. So what it does, it pulls the container image that the whole system will run. It does some installation of initialization and installing the dependencies and some, I think, old uses for Nix packages. And then builds the data and starts the development server. So we're going to be listening on this port here. So are we done yet? No. It's a beefy image. Oh, I think it's like 2 gigabytes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Akala, and we're going to go to the config here, and then what we're going to do, we're going to change something here. We could even just do this just for fun of it. So what do we have here? We have a version called 2. So this is Karura, right? And Karura is not in Akala. Karura is in Karura. Because this is how it is currently done. This is one thing that I forgot to mention. The way how this data is structured in Dotsama.info it will be a graph connections, right? So you can see here that EDNL network relates to Anagolay network because the Anagolay network is the parent network of the EDNL network. Unfortunately, I could not get that information directly unless I go through all the 36 projects and map them. But it's completely possible for other people to do so. So, for example, what is the parent project of Akala? If there is nothing, then this relates to is empty, right? So, what is a related or parent project to Arjuna or A-Star or Basilisk? And then for the moment, this what says here that it relates to Polkadot, it relates to a relay chain where that project is running, which this is incorrect data. And as I said, I put it like this to show that there is a possibility for the relation, which needs to be updated. Solo chains, on the other hand, don't have such a thing because, well, they are solo chains, they don't require relay chains. Cool. So we have it. Okay, well, let's just edit it here. We don't need to run all of this. So in this case, Karura will have the version. Where is the? Do we have version? Its version is 251, right? So without too much of messing around, let's just copy stuff. At least this. So you can just take this one and change. So this should go to a top level. Okay, that's that. What was the name of the 215.1, 215.0? So 215.0. Then binary was the QM. You just need this. This is all you need. If it's an IPFS and on a public gateway, this is available not public gateway because you know that it's publicly available because it's on Piñata. You can just do this. That's all. That's all. So they do not provide the Docker image or anything else. So they do previous release is that one, which we don't know. So Karura runtime wasm, right? Is that the same thing? Yeah, that's the same thing. So you could actually take it, since it's the same thing. They don't specify what is the runtime wasm, right? So you could just put them in all three here because they are three. There is runtime, which is the largest, compressed is the smaller one, and compact is the tiniest one. So in our case, it's like 1 megabyte, 900 kilobytes, and like 300 kilobytes. So, and then you have the Genesis state. Well, we don't know any of that. And unfortunately, we don't know anything about Genesis spec. Do you know where is the Genesis spec for Akala? No, we do know. We do know. Do we? Yeah, we do know. It's just like, there we go. So we had an issue. We put it down. There you go. So we can just remove this one, this one, and this one, and then there you go. That's that. This is how you update the data. And if we would Now, since we have a tiny bit of time, we could just copy this. Can we copy this? This was Karura, no? Let's open it here.
Yep.
Karura config. So now we have Karura here, right? Let's open it. Okay, so we have this one. Since we are in the development mode, very important thing, pm watch data, because we need to watch the data, so all the data JSON is saved, right? Let's save this. If this didn't pick it up, this will pick it up now. And voila. We have a bug. This is, sorry guys, I have been hasty Mariadoc. There you go. Voila. This is how you add a version. And this is everything. So if you click here, this will go resolve to the IPFS, right? We can just, there you go. It resolved to IPFS. If you go, oh, well, this is wrong. I mean, I'm not going to submit this in a PR because this is a not correct Docker image, but they might not have a Docker image. So in this case, if they don't have the Docker image, then you would just, remove the freaking Docker image and then do that. And so what Ideanale is always a good source to use as
Template.
As a template is kind of stuff, because I still didn't finish the proper typing on the YAML file. So this is Ideanale will always have the latest one. So what you can say, latest version is 2.15.0, and this will show up here. Oops, we did not regenerate the test file, the data. Generated data, voila, 215.0, aka latest. So now you know what is the latest data, what is the latest tag for the thing. So you can have it here as well, and it's clickable. I know Carla is definitely happy about this. There she is. Yes. So yeah, and adding the description is equally easy, equally easy. So description will be short description. You can add a tiny short description. This is all YAML syntax. So you can have a single line, right? If you want multiple lines, you would do again something like this. Again, YAML syntax. No magic or anything. Fun thing is that this is Markdown. This is full Markdown available. So, this is a short description, and we can have a long description as well. The short description is mainly for SEO, and the long descriptions are for the website, right? People following? So that's that basically. This is how you can update the data and regenerate all the bunch of stuff. All the data here is in static. This is massive amount of. So we have all the projects JSON files. So this is the size of what, like, we can call it collection. So people can take the whole data from Dotsama.info and then say like, okay, thank you, goodbye. And we say thank you for using our data. So yeah, as I said, if in here you can see that this is the what's changed in a git status, one file.
Cool. All right. So, any final questions before we wrap up the recording? Comments?
Nobody comments on anything. Love it.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, for the very first introduction of the concept, of the proof of concept, I think that was quite okay. So, yeah, for now, we'll just, well, we put it out there, and we'll be waiting for the feedback from the community and how we can improve it, what's needed, what's not needed, and optimize the entire thingy. And yeah, and keep working on it. So if actually someone managed to watch the video till the end, since we're going to be published in the YouTube, feel free to reach out to the teams, to Anagolay and Mayhem Nodes, or we also set up Twitter and Mastodon for the Dotsama.info. So you can reach out directly to the teams or get in touch with one of those channels and let us know your ideas.
Thank you, everybody. It was nice to have you.